Hi, I'm Aiden Jacobs, and today I'll be talking to you about animal communication. Now, you may think sound is the main way animals communicate, which is true for a lot of animals, but there's actually many different forms of animal communication. Today, I'll be discussing communicating through sound, communicating through pheromones, and tactile communication. Let's start with sound. So sound, as previously mentioned, is a major plays a major role in animal communication. Humans, for example, evolved to have vocal cords. This is how I'm giving this speech to you right now. I'm communicating to you through sounds. This is because we can alter different tones in our voice to portray different sounds that convey different messages. This is how the human language is built. And similarly, dolphins have their own complex language they do as they produce different tones in their voices. There's two main sounds that dolphins produce: clicks and whistles. Clicks are used for echolocation, which is them producing a sound to see their surroundings in the ocean. This can include rocks, predators, and prey. Whistles are what comprises their language and how they communicate between each other. Interestingly enough, dolphins also have their own regional accents like humans do, and they have something called a signature whistle, which is what you can easily identify one dolphin as if you hear that whistle. Birds also use a lot of sound to communicate with their fellow birds. They use sounds such as squawks, squeaks, gargles, trills, warbles, and whistles, among many others. Let's move on to pheromones. Pheromones are chemical signals released by an organism that conveys a message, gives information, and is used to communicate between an organism. These are mainly seen in like bugs, insects, and mainly hive creatures. So think of ants, wasps, bees, things such as that. Let's go into ants because they are a great example of how pheromones work to communicate between these organisms. Ants process these pheromones through their antennas in a process using chemosensory proteins. These proteins break down the pheromone and then convert it into a signal that gives instructions to the ant's brain. This can be seen when an ant finds a piece of food, for example. If an ant finds a piece of food, it will leave a pheromone trail up to the food and then back to the hive. And these different signals show different directional patterns so the ant knows what direction the food is and where the hive's at. Similarly, if an ant is killed or crushed or under attack, it will release a pheromone of distress, which can either include telling the other ants to swarm a certain thing or to run away and hide from a certain thing. Next, let's move on to tactile communication, otherwise known as communicating through touch. Tactile communication is usually used to form social interactions, which then establishes bonds between creatures. This can be used to comfort a creature, to assert your dominance over it, or to ward off any predators. Primates are a great example of animals that use tactile communication among each other. Humans, as we are primates, we tactilely communicate through dancing, hugging, shaking each other's hands, kissing, sex, and many others. Many primates also partake in many of the same rituals that we do. Other primates, such as other types of apes, can be seen grooming each other often, and this is usually to comfort or to deeply establish social bonding. For example, If a male ape gets into a fight with another male ape, after the fight is over, its male friend will come and groom it to soothe its nerves and to tell it everything's gonna be all right. And this further establishes deep bonds between the animals. Now I will be showing you some slides as a visual representation of some of these forms of communication. That's my presentation on animal communication. I hope I was able to convey some new information to you through sound and show you that there are many other ways that animals can communicate with each other. Thank you.